I want you to change the world, and don't think that this is going to happen peacefully or you can do it alone. We need to kill the rich. You get out there, you use your weapons, and you rip Washington apart. You hunt down the billionaires, the bank bosses, the CEOs, the scumbags and the liars, the governors, the lobbyists, the senators, because they're all the same, and you hang them.
Good evening, everyone. It's April 14th, 2020. Merrick. How's everyone doing this afternoon or evening? I hope you're well. Today we're gonna change it up a little bit, and instead of doing some articles, we're gonna check out some video clips. The very first one is pretty unsettling, and I've pre-queued it up before I started here. That way we get right to the most important part, and then we'll go from there. There's a few that I have, and some of them, especially the first one, is rather unsettling, so check it out.
Before you stimulated me, I want a lawyer up here. You can't do that. Am I under arrest? Am I under arrest? How can you force me to do something? How can you force me to do something if I'm not under arrest?
I'm trying to explain to you. The doctor,
Shit don't change it.
doctors talk to you.
Shit don't change it, bro. Y'all talked to me when I was a kid.
I'm trying to explain to you.
I was a kid too. I'm a man now. I'm a man now.
Okay, I'm listening. So the doctors talk to you. They do not feel like you have the capacity to make medical decisions based off their discussion with you. So
How do I not have that?
that's the
I'm a grown man now. How do I
that's the
not have
doctor's
the capacity?
decision.
So you just heard it. That's the part that I wanted to really highlight. Now, if you go to the hospital or end up in the hospital for some reason, as a result of the authorities dragging your ass to the hospital, or you go in there on your own volition. So, either way it goes, okay, they do not have a right to force you to take any medication. They are, matter of fact, if they do that to you, they are straight up violating your human rights. Straight up. Now, let me tell you right now, if you're curious to know how all that ended, it's pretty long, and the guy, if the guy had acted a different way, perhaps it wouldn't have ended in that way. You can tell them no without the drama. All right, and that's why I went ahead and queued it up, because the guy is long-winded about certain things, and he repeats a lot. So I'm sparing the rest of it because there's just no need. The important part is it didn't end well for this guy. It did not end well for him. Now, they will be going out to and knocking on doors pretty soon. Okay? And I think the scene that you just saw developing right there is going to play out across America in people's homes. Could I be wrong? Absolutely. Absolutely, I could be wrong. However, we've heard people, a couple of people, as a matter of fact, now, talking about doing this very thing. Bill Gates and the World Health Organization's doctor, it's not Tedros, it's the other one, and his name escapes me at the moment. Forgive me, I can't remember everything. Although I do try. But that's just one video clip. I have some more here. Yeah, minimize myself here. Bam. Go up here. And bam. Oh, where's my list? There we go. Alright. Oh, so there's been military movement going on across the country. And this is one of them. I believe this was taken here in Spartanburg, because that intersection looks very familiar to me. I could be wrong, but I do believe that's the Denny's building right there. So, I think this one was taken here. It wasn't me who took it. These are clips I found in articles and other places. So we have military going across the country. We have medical goons doing giving people forced procedures. And I'm hearing a lot of interviews regarding the use of these ventilators. Now, from what I understand, and from these interviews I've watched, the ventilators are causing a lot of lung damage. They crank them all the way up for some fucking reason. And, you know, I wouldn't rule out the possibility that a lot of these people who have died as a result of their medical intervention. And I know a lot of people are going to say, there are heroes. Heroes. But they're not heroes, people. They chose to be in their profession. They knew that at any given time, because they get lectures on these things, any given time an epidemic can start. And arguably, we do have a flu epidemic every year. Some years are worse than others, but still. And it always seems to start with people shedding their vaccine after they get their shot. So, here's another one. Military movement all over the country. Saw a video from Richie from Boston where they showed rock quarries, or quarries. I don't know what kind of quarry it was actually. Quarries nonetheless. Of a lot of military vehicles. I mean, a lot. No way to know how many for sure, but they had a variety of them. Sort of like you're seeing on this train, only hidden. So where are they hiding military vehicles all over the place? Isn't that crazy? It sure feels an awful like our military's about to be used on us. Yeah. Although, from what I understand, a lot of them guys are coming up sick themselves. So I wonder what that's about. Could it be this is where the United Nations comes into play? You know, the Strong Cities Initiative. Could it be? I mean, I don't know. What do I know? I'm just a guy that reads their white papers, I guess you can call them, or policy papers, or whatever. Let me tell you, for the most part, the shit is crazy. Shit is crazy, and the reading, it's kind of dry, but what's going on? Shit is crazy. Let's see what this motherfucker has to say.
Coronavirus is the hoax of the day.
The State Department is doing everything it can to protect American citizens around the world.
You believe coronavirus?
I'm not going to comment on what others are saying.
I'm just asking you. Do you believe the coronavirus is a hoax?
I'm just telling you what the Secretary of State's doing.
Do you believe the coronavirus is a hoax?
We're in a live exercise here to get this right.
We're working to keep people safe.
You can't even answer that question.
Yeah,
it's not even a gotcha question. You believe the coronavirus is a hoax?
It's a gotcha moment. It's not useful.
Is the coronavirus a hoax? Can you just answer that question?
We're taking it seriously. This is
So let me tell you. Let me tell you right now, Donald Trump is no longer in charge. Okay? He is a figurehead only. FEMA is now in charge because he declared an emergency in all 50 states. And when he did this, he put into motion certain things. And none of them are good for the American people. None of them. They are nothing less than evil. And people would say that I'm evil. They would. They would say that I'm evil, and because I refuse to follow any kind of rules that society has placed on me. At least none, not the ones that make no logical sense. Of course, I'm not just going to kill to kill. I'm not going to harm someone else unless I have a very good reason for it. We can't say the same for our so-called leaders, now can we? No. Instead, what they want to do is put us in a state of bondage. That's what it is. They don't want you to grow your own food. They don't want you to raise your own animals. They don't want you being able to go to the store to buy anything you want. They don't want you armed. They don't want you educated. They want you either dead or under their thumb. And that same thing goes for Donald Trump. He wants you dead or under his thumb. He don't fucking care which, but that's what he wants. And all you people out there, you continue to worship this dude, even though he set into motion all these previous executive orders, given him or FEMA all this power, do you think it's ever going to go back to normal? Do you think we were even in a state of normalcy in the first place?
Are you at 12:15 today? Are you in fact by yourself speaking at CPAC? At 12:15.
So, and you know what? He says it's a live exercise. Which brings me to a clip that I forgot to add to this playlist, and I'm gonna pause it on my end here and dig that clip up real quick. No, I know I've played this clip in a previous video. However, it is worth analyzing this here. All right, so let's listen to this again.
Alexa, did the government release the coronavirus?
According to Event 201, the government planned this event, created the virus, and had a simulation of how the countries would react. This simulation occurred October 18th, 2019. The government released the virus among the population and has lost control of the outbreak.
Do you think there should be a national policy?
Okay. You heard what Alexa just said. You heard what she just said. Or it. Sounds like a she, though. So I'll go with she. Is it possible that Alexa's actually telling the truth? Who is somebody going to call Alexa a conspiracy theorist now? Are they? Edge of Wonder guy said that it could have been a programmer that did it, but I don't know. I mean, it is kind of her job to scan what's out there and give you the information, right? It seems to me that AI don't make fucking mistakes like that. I could be wrong, of course. Of course, how likely is it that Alexa is wrong? I don't know. But it seems pretty fishy to me. I mean, alright, let's check out this dickhead. And first of all, I'm going to tell you right now, Bill Gates is not a doctor, okay? He is a computer geek, not a doctor. So I would like to know what makes him, and what do they call it, authoritative source. He's not a doctor, right? So, what's up with that? What is up with that? I really got to do something about my background, don't I? Yeah. Anyway. And we got the people on YouTube all worried about their monetization and using code words to dodge the algorithms. When we got people in this country being forced with physical violence to take a shot that they do not know what it is. And when you try to resist getting this shot, they will then say to you, well, the doctors determined that you're unfit to make medical decisions. Unfit to make your own medical decisions. You know, I haven't made a video in a couple of days because I am actually looking for a place to bug out to. I'm not bullshitting. It's really is time. And, I mean, we have a lot to bring to the table. So, I'm going to find somewhere. So what makes him an authoritative source? And you know, some of these news people would say, well, he's hired experts and done research. Well, here's the deal with that, okay? That's fine. That's fine. But why is it... he's a college dropout, by the way, okay? Again, not a doctor. Why is it acceptable for Bill Gates to give his opinion based on his own research, and when somebody else does it, they're ridiculed? Oh, you're not an expert. How can you possibly understand? Well, I understand the exact same way they do. I read. Isn't that amazing? I can actually read. And more important than that, I can actually comprehend what I'm reading. And guess what? If I don't know a term, I look it up. To further my understanding. So there's that. So here's Bill Gates.
Absolutely. As long as people are moving around within the country, we're all in this together. It's not likely we're going to partition the country into all sorts of separate pieces because things like food and electricity, there are essential functions where we still want people to be connected. So it'll help everyone get out of this more quickly and reduce the deaths and reduce the economic reduction if we implement these strong isolation measures on a countrywide basis. You know, it's really unprecedented.
I mean, he couldn't do better than reduce the economic reduction. This is a person people are going to for advice about a bioweapon that was released among the population of the world, according to Alexa. I don't need to see this asshole anymore, except for maybe...
in a certain sense, more optional, and so until you're widely vaccinated, those may not come back.
The governor's new order...
Now, let me tell you about this vaccination, okay? Let me tell you about this. You know why he's pushing the vaccine so hard? Because he has invested tens of millions of dollars in 8 different vaccine prototypes. So, you know, and they put it in the context on the news, mainstream media, as, well, he's doing some good. He's giving money for these vaccines to be made, but that's not really what's happening here. What's actually happening is he invested his money, and now that he has invested his money, he wants everyone on the planet to be vaccinated with one of those vaccines. I mean, what can I say? That's what he wants. And you can't tell me that this shit don't stink to fucking high heaven. I bet the Anunnaki's up there right now going, God damn, that shit stinks. And the funk keeps on getting worse. These people are going to do this. These people have attacked us in a very real and direct way. Not just a single way, but in a multitude of ways. That's what's going on. Let's see, what else do I got here? This bitch. Alright.
Until the end of the month, putting more stringent guidelines in place too.
That's right. The governor's latest action to flatten the curve comes the same day we lost more than 117 more people in the state of Michigan. Cases statewide up to 21,504 people. The death toll has now topped 1,000.
Tonight, the Republican-controlled legislature pushing back, calling the governor's new order an overreach.
Mar McDonald is live in Bloomfield.
Well, let me ask you something here. Do they shut down entire nations or cities or states over police killings, let's say? Well, we can't even compare. Yeah, actually, we can. We can compare that. Because they've been killing a lot of people. So, yeah. Tell me, how do you like your new world? Are you enjoying your imprisonment, even though you haven't been convicted of a crime? Let's see.
Township tonight, Mar. Some of those new guidelines include what big box stores can and cannot sell.
So, Kimberly, here's what happens. When everybody goes to a Lowe's or a Menards or a Home Depot, here's what they're going to see. Whole categories of merchandise that are going to be cordoned off and that you will be unable to buy. Things like gardening supplies, paint, carpeting, flooring, and furniture. It is no...
I mean, sure, they're reporting it, but they're not saying, this is a little bit retarded. What's one have to do with the other? And more importantly than that is what made this bitch God to decide what is essential for everybody else? Now, one thing Donald Trump has done right was the gun store thing. He did that right, except there's no ammo there. So if you haven't gotten ammo or you can't make your own, you're going to have to take it off people that you end up engaging in combat in or with. and this is not hyperbole here. This is what we're looking at.
Surprised the governor is extending the stay-at-home order. Now is not the time to pull back at all. It is the time to intensify.
Erica, it is not a great day to be out for a walk, but if you are in the town of
Look at
Beverly
this.
now, you must walk against traffic in certain parts of this community. The health department issued this order, hoping everyone will keep their social distance.
I mean, their control is getting all the way down to which direction you fucking walk in. Do you agree with this? And if you don't you think we should all be saying something and pushing back as hard as we can? I mean, governors are going to go against. And by the way, if you think civil war is not going to happen here, it is. And the governors' actions, a group of them, really highlight where we are heading. Okay? And again, Donald Trump is no longer in charge. FEMA is in charge. And this cannot be fucking stressed enough. Now, these guys...
So even though the governor said twice today that you can't stop in parking lot church services, y'all still going to try to stop it?
I'm not aware of that.
So, he's not aware of that. But their governor said, well, you can't stop in car church services. I mean, what harm are they causing anybody by being out there in their own car listening to their church service? Exactly what is it about that action that is threatening in any way, that deserves any type of fine? And you know I'm not a fan of churches or government or anything that binds you and keeps you from discovering your true humanity, your true power as a human being. But look at this one. Now, let me ask you, what kind of gutless fucking bitches need to swarm one man fucking 8 deep, or whatever it is, maybe even more than that? What kind of pussies, weak-willed, yellow-belly pussies need to do that? Oh, I know. Law enforcement. That's right, because they can't be brave unless they have the power of the state to back them up and put their tormentors in prison. Meaning, if you defend yourself against one of these motherfuckers, you'll go to prison. Most of the time. Don't get me wrong, there have been instances where people have defended themselves and won in court, but overall, this doesn't happen. In fact, if you use guns to defend yourself, You will be plastered from one end of the internet to the other, from both left and the right. You'll be plastered all over the news stations, nationwide, probably worldwide, and called a fucking terrorist, even though they were the ones actually committing terroristic activities. Just saying.
On this door, man.
I don't know how that ended up there twice. We can skip that. Oh, let me ask you. How is the police any different here from the Chinese cops? Can you tell me that? Can you tell me what the difference is? Oh, our police are heroes, right? But they act just like the authoritarian communist police over there in fucking China. How is that? Can you tell me? How is it they're both heroes and authoritarian swine at the same time? Tell me in the comment section below. Anyway, I have some more to share with you, but I'm going to save it for my next video. So, again, they're surrounding us. And they're forcing medical procedures on people, using physical violence. And people, we're just going to take it? Really? We're really just going to take it. So much for that so-called American fighting spirit, because it sure the fuck don't exist right now. If that were the case, then, we probably wouldn't have such a degradation of rights in the first place. Somebody in my comment section, and you know what, I'm going to cover it in my next video. I'm going to pull a comment up. My bad. They asked, what's the alternative to government, basically. And I'm going to get into what the alternative is the next time around. Because we can do a lot better than what we're doing as a species. If it weren't for the governments of this world, if it weren't for the Catholic fucking bullshit back in the day, we would be so much more advanced than what we are now. All they do is stand in the way. They stand in the way of progress. Anyway, I hope you all have a good evening. And remember, kill the state. We'll live free.